Hello there, today I'm going to be talking about the start of my plans on how I'm going to make enough money in the next 2 years to be able to buy a house. I have spoken about the circumstances in my last video where we got a section 21 notice and our landlord has given us 2 years now to get into a position to be able to buy this house. Or to be fair, if we're not in a position to buy this house by then, as long as we're in a position to buy any house in 2 years time, I will be happy. So yeah. The start of the plans revolve around eBay and my own website that I'm going to set up. So first half of the video I'm going to talk about eBay, then I'll pack some orders and then I'll talk about the rest of it. So eBay, at the moment my eBay account is doing a bit trash. I have had this current account that I'm on for about 18 months now, and for quite a long period of time I was making about £100 a day on it. I say making £100 a day, I had a turnover of about £100 a day, and then when we got the S21 notice, I just kind of gave up a little bit on it. I stopped getting new stock in and stopped listing stuff, and I just got a little bit demoralised and demotivated because I didn't want to be buying stock that I didn't know where it was going to go if we didn't know where we were going to be living. And yeah, even though that was like a really silly thing to do, because at the end of the day I needed money for the house move regardless of whether we were renting or buying. So yeah, that was all a bit demoralising. So my eBay now is doing pretty trash. A few days ago I was at the point where I was lucky if I made a £5 a day. And in the last couple of days I've sort of had a big overhaul with it. At the moment 95 to 99% of my stock is trading cards. I am planning to completely stop trading cards because there isn't enough profit in them to get to the point where I can buy a house. It's all kind of like risk based because you can never guarantee what you're going to get, kind of thing. A lot of the trading cards that I've done well on in the past are ones that I bought off a giant bundle. I got like a bundle of like 1990s cards from a local auction house. It cost me about £300, and then last year I probably made about 10 grand back off them. I do still have quite a few of those that I'm still working through. So yeah, that was a good buy. So yeah, trading cards, I do plan on completely stopping them, and then I want to get back into a bigger variety of products again. For the next 5 weeks, because the kids are off school, I've got 5 kids, so we're really busy over the summer holidays. And in the next 5 weeks, my hope and goal is that I'll be able to put £100 a week into a savings account towards the house. I appreciate that's not an awful lot, but you've got to remember I'm at the beginning stages here, and things will hopefully escalate and grow as we go along. And I want to start putting money aside, not necessarily big amounts, but I also, as well as having the money aside, I need that rest of the money for reinvestment. And that is hopefully if my sales get back up to a level where I'm making over £100 a week. I mean, currently I had 9 orders today, which was quite a decent amount, and I say decent amount, there was times where I was posting 100 items at the end of the weekend, so obviously it's massively down. So yeah, as you can see here, my sales for the year to date are 26 grand, and I'm anywhere near that at the moment. I mean, I've got £17 of pending payments for today, so I'm not going to be doing that currently, so I need to massively find a way to increase my takings, ideally back up to where they were earlier in the year, and then above and beyond that too. So yeah, next 5 weeks with eBay, my plan is to make £500 a week to go straight into the savings account, so I'm starting to build that deposit amount, and then everything above that, reinvestment. So that is where I am with eBay. Last couple of days, because my account has been so trashed, I took absolutely everything off and relisted it all by clicking sell similar. I've refreshed all of the listings and I've reduced prices of pretty much all of the trading cards. My plan with those is any that don't sell at the end of August are going to be completely delisted, and I'm going to bundle them up and sell them in one big job lot to get rid. I do this month in July have a featured shop where you get, like, I think it's 1,500 is it, or 1,250 listings. I'm ending that tomorrow, so basically from August onwards I'm going back down to a standard rate size shop. So as I currently have like 600 plus listings on there, I've set them up so at the end, they all end towards the end of next month, and when it gets to the point of being the end of next month, before they all renew, any that don't sell, I'm just going to end them, stick them in a pile and get them ready to sell in a big job lot. But I have noticed that since I've clicked sold similar and, you know, reduced the prices, I am starting to see a little bit of an improvement on the sales of those. sourcing stock for eBay. I am probably not going to do too well with charity shops because the charity shops near me completely and utterly overcharge. You can actually buy stuff from them new in the actual shops you get them from. I see like Primark tops in them that probably would have sold for £4 originally, selling for like a fiver. So the charity shops near me are not fantastic. I will give them a good old try, especially when the kids go back to school and I've got a little bit more time on my hands. That is one thing I will try. Car boots, they don't run all year round here. There's only one local car boot that I can get to. I am going to try and go to it this week because I haven't been for... The last one I went to was actually last year, car boot. So I'm going to try and get to the car boot this weekend to see what stock I can get. I'm hoping that I'll have maybe £100 to take with me this week. So not a massive amount, but enough to hopefully get quite a few things to sort of throw into the mix and sort of increase where I am with stuff. And sort of like the main thing that I've been relying on for the last year before I sort of delved more into trading cards was the local auction house. I've been picking up big job lots of stuff and separating them down and selling them individually and making quite a good profit off them. So that is probably where I'm hoping to get quite a bit of stock from. So I am going to see what they've got on there upcoming and work onwards with that. But as the time progresses, I am going to be looking for more and more sourcing options and other ways to make money, because I don't know if I can get that going to a level where it's going to make me enough money to buy a house. I know there are people out there that do, and that would be awesome if I can. I do have a full garage of stuff that I can sell, but a lot of the stuff that I actually have in there are not really worth selling on eBay. I've got probably 300 like records, and quite uncomfortable sitting on the floor here. I've got like 300 records in the garage, and I'm going to go through all of those and see if there's any that's worth selling individually. I already have the record mailing boxes things. I've got 25 of them, so if I can pick out 25 that are worth selling, that'd be awesome. But otherwise I'm just going to bundle all of those up and stick them on Facebook Marketplace, again to get rid and clear some space. Come September for eBay, my plan is to get the garage cleared so I've got loads of storage space in there to crack on and actually have a lot more stock. I've got like a full garage that I can use, but at the moment it's got some old sofas in and lots of just junk and things that I need to clear out, and I'll do that when the kids go back to school in September. So that's pretty much everything I have to say on eBay today, and I'll probably talk about it a little bit more in the coming weeks and days. I'm going to get on with some order packing now. I'll show you what I've sold in the last day that's going out in the post today. So I've just quickly come upstairs to get some orders packed from eBay. There's only 9 to go today, but that is actually a good improvement on the last couple of weeks. I'm going to quickly run through them, I'm going to get them packed and get them to the post office because it is currently 2:30, so they need to get going. Right from the beginning, we have this match tax card that sold for £4.95. Joshua Xerxes Platinum Pull. Next up we have this TurboTax numbered card, which is numbered to 299. That's sold for £4. These prices are inclusive of postage unless I say otherwise, so obviously there's not much money in them. Batman Return to Arkham on the Xbox One, which sold for £4.95 plus £1.80 postage. The Meg on 4K, which sold for £5.65 plus £2 postage. And the best sale of the day was this TurboTax card, which is numbered to 299, and that sold for £15. Next up, Martinelli Chrome card, sold for £2.95. And then we have a little set of Buffy the Vampire Slayer cards of the Big Bads Triple Threat. They sold for £3.95 including postage. Post will be 87p on those. Next up we had an order that had 3 different cards in. These are all from X-Men Finest 97 Tops set. They came to £10.85. And lastly for today is this one here, which is a Adrenaline XL Plus card, which sold for £6.50. Things will start to mix up in a few weeks to the point where it's not just going to be trading cards anymore, because I am going to be vastly increasing the range of sort of products I do and running down the trading cards. I'm not going to be listing or buying any new ones in future, just because it's not that profitable, but I'll talk about that elsewhere in the video anyway. Moving on, I'll get these packed and get on with something else. Now that all of my orders are packed for today, I'm going to talk a little bit about the other part of my plan at the moment. I do have a lot of other longer term ideas to crack into at some point, but not everything's sort of ongoing. This is another one that I'm sort of working on at the moment. It's not going to make me any money until September, because that's when I plan to launch the website. So I have this idea where I can sell products at £1 an item. Now, some people will think you don't want to be selling things at low prices because you're not going to get much of a profit margin and you're going to have to sell an awful lot to be able to make a profit. Fair enough, point taken. However, I have a lot of stock already. I've had over the years 3 different brick and mortar shops myself that I've run. I've also had a craft supplies website and another website selling my own handmade goods. So I have a lot of stock left over from all of those businesses that I can incorporate into this. Everything that I've got has already paid for itself in the past. These are businesses that have closed like a couple of years ago for most of them, but for the large part, the main one closed in March 2020 when I closed my last shop. You can pretty much take a guess as to why I closed that in March 2020. But yeah, so I have a lot of stock that I can use towards this business idea. My plan is to make, source and sell lots of products for £1 an item and basically have quite a funky £1 per item website, like a pound shop but a funky one. Well, I say funky, like a pretty one that has nice stuff and is unique in its own way. Now, I am fully aware that building up a website, getting all the customers to it and, you know, actually having a decent customer base actually coming back is going to be hard work. I have done this before, so I kind of know where I'm going with it. But obviously starting from scratch, I don't have any of my old customers anymore and it's a completely different world to what it was 5 years ago. The kind of products that I'll be selling, I do make a lot of hair accessories, children's accessories, purses, bookmarks, just all sorts of little fiddly bits basically. And I'll also be sourcing in some other products from my old wholesalers, which include like earrings and jewellery, just bits and bobs that I can sell for a low price of like £1. Since I've last sold these kind of things, there is something else that have taken off, like Shein or whatever they call it, and things like that, and they will actually be like my biggest competition because a lot of people buy from them now and they're obviously massively well known. All of their stock there is dirt cheap, so they kind of have become competition for a lot of small businesses in the UK, so that probably will be the kind of people that have to sort of fight for customers. My stock I think is going to be better value, so just a quick example of what I've got here. One of the items that I made yesterday is a zip coin purse. I am able to afford to sell this for £1 and still make a good profit margin. So they're just nice little embroidered purses, if I can show you, a little zip coin and just nice decent sized purses. I made 100 of those yesterday, so they took me about 2.5 hours to make in total probably. So I can make quite a lot of stock in a small amount of time, and my plan is I'm going to make it all summer, and in September when I've got like quite a lot of stock I'm going to launch this new website, hopefully start and gain some traction and some customers and make some money off that. Now my hope for that is I'm thinking of the turnovers of previous websites that I've had. My hope for them is that I can, for this particular business side, is that I can try and turn over £4 a month, which might seem a lot when you think, well, does that mean I have to make 4,000 items? Not necessarily, no, because I will be sourcing in some of these products that I'll be selling for £1 each from my old wholesalers. It's not going to immediately get to that point where I'm selling 4,000 things a month. I need to build up a customer base, and I have ideas, but I'm not particularly great with Instagram or TikTok, and I think they will play quite well into building up this customer base. I have to do quite a bit of research on those to actually try and figure that out. So that is another like little area that I'm working on. I do already have 3,000 items made and they're already listed on the website that I'm building. I've got a 3-month Shopify trial where it's like £1 a month, so come September I'll still have about 6 weeks left of the £1 a month trial thing, so I won't be overpaying until hopefully I can build up some customers. So that's sort of idea number 2. I do have other plans that I have coming in the long term, so I have other little ideas of how to make money in the future. These are just two little things, eBay and the £1 per item website that I'm building. These are just two ideas of many that I'm going to be launching in the next few years. Please like, follow, subscribe, whatever it is you do on YouTube. I will be doing daily videos in the meantime, Monday to Friday, showing what's going out in the post that day, how much I've sold it for. I'll be doing that for eBay, but if I start and sell on other platforms such as Vinted, Facebook Marketplace, I'll show you anything that I sell just to sort of give you an idea of how things are going. I will share each week whether or not in the 5 weeks of the summer if I've hit the target that I wanted to hit for the savings account. I mean, £100 a week isn't a massive amount, so I'm hoping I should be able to hit that every week. I'll do videos at the weekend showing you what stock I've sourced, ready to list for the next week, because I'm going to be listing, probably do my sourcing stock and listing of items on a weekend, because I post every day Monday to Friday, so hopefully that'll all work out. I do have quite a few hours to be able to put into all of this. I do fully work self-employed as such. I don't have a typical job because I've got quite high family needs. You can possibly hear that I have a child in the background who has quite complex additional needs. He is like a full-time job in himself, bless him. So I'm not able to go to a 9-to-5 job and work. I work around family in my own unique little way. So I do have my daily hours that I can put into it. I'm hoping I'm not going to overdo things. I did previously sell on Etsy, and a couple of years ago, 18 months ago now, I quit Etsy. And I quit that because I was making these reindeer candy cane holders over Christmas of that year, 18 months ago. And I sold 5,000 of them in 1 week alone, and when everything was individually made by me, let's just say I got burnt out, and I haven't turned my embroidery machines back on until about 2 weeks ago. And yeah, I'm not going to go down that route again. I probably will make some of these candy cane holders for this £1 website because they're quite quick to make. Obviously if I'm making 5,000 of them in a week, then they are quite quick to make, but I'm not going to do personalised ones, which is what I did back then. So that's just more stuff that I can add in. So yeah, I'm going to leave that video for here today because I have witted on, which is my speciality. So hopefully you have a good idea of what my plans are for the next few weeks at the very least. My plans are going to change and adapt due to just depending on how things go. When it gets to September, I'll do a video clearing out the garage. I might not show you quite the extreme state of it, but I will do a video clearing out the garage, ready to put the eBay business into there. Because when all the trading cards are gone, I am going to just be using basically the garage for the storage and organising it all basically. So yeah, I think it's going to be really good ongoing. Long term, how much money do I want to make? Ideally I would need an absolute minimum of £33,000 in the savings to be able to get a deposit on this house of 10%. However, I do also have the issue that I need my income to be able to get to a point of beating the affordability to buy the house basically, because at the moment I'm not going to be able to get a mortgage on this house, which would be £330,000 with a 10% deposit. I just don't have a high enough income level to be able to get that. So 33 grand is the starting point of where I want to get, just so I do have that 10%, but obviously I need to get to a point where my income is high enough to get that mortgage. So in an ideal world, 20% would be awesome, so 66 grand might get me more likely there. But, as I say, if it gets to the point where in 2 years' time we're not actually able to get this house, then we will look at other options and maybe get a shared ownership house or something. I'm going to go now because little one's getting annoyed because he can't get in the house. So thank you for watching, see you tomorrow.